and in a whole new setup.
How do you like this setup, guys?
How do you guys voted for this setup the most?
It's cool.
I like it.
I do too. It's very casual.
The thing,
I feel like
it's
comfortable.
Too casual.
I think because we're just so used to, like, just being in the actual studio on stools and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, but remember, back in the day, we were sitting on the couch, too.
On the floor.
Super casual. Yes, on the floor.
On the floor.
We were on the floor. Yeah. You're right.
We would be, like, in my kid's room or in your couch for a while. I kind of miss the couch in your apartment.
Yeah.
That's just comfy.
That's why I'm planted all summer, because it's too freaking hot out here.
Trying to make sure y'all can't see, like, my lower half because we're going to be, like, patas abiertas over here, like, you know?
We're just girls, comfortable. I mean, I should have brought some vodka or tequila for this refresher, but it's fine.
Like, this isn't already vodka. No, I'm just kidding. It's my water. It's keeping me...
I know, I have mine too. I have mine too over here.
Well, we took a long-ass break. Is this the longest break we've taken, or, like, no?
I think it has been the longest break we've taken. But I feel like it was much needed, kind of, like, to just focus on ourselves. And
so much has happened, but not, like, bad things.
Yeah. Like what? What you been up to?
So from the last time we recorded, like a little, or like the last episode we released was like before Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, yeah.
So from then, Mother's Day happened, Father's Day happened, kids went in school, like summer break. And so for the most part, just pretty chill. Like, it hasn't been crazy, but also like been trying to catch up with like everything else and enjoy my time with like my kids.
Yeah.
This summer, especially because my baby's going to kindergarten. I'm a whole ass mess.
Are you? I was going to ask you how you're feeling about that.
I cried yesterday or the day before yesterday because I told my husband he's going to spend his first birthday at school.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I told him, I was like, maybe I can go to lunch with him and like surprise him for his birthday, like have lunch there at the school. And my husband's like, no. And I was like, I started crying.
Why?
I started crying. He's like, because then he's going to, like, feel some type of way because it's his birthday. And, like, you're going to, like, probably cry in front of him. And then he's going to be – he was just, like, making this whole, like, scenario, like, way more than what it was. But I was just, like – it just made me feel some type of way. And I was just, like, trying to, like, compose myself.
Just tell him, like, this is our last baby. Like,
I know.
And I have the ability to go – celebrate his birthday with him at school. Why not?
I know.
That was the worst thing for me, having my birthday in the summer and not being able to celebrate my birthday in school.
Right.
And like the moms or the parents coming and like bringing cupcakes for the kids and stuff. Yeah. I never got that because my birthday was in the summer when school's over, and I hated that. I was like, I want my parents to come bring me cupcakes. Yeah. So like, I don't know. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, you should do it.
I mean, he said no at first, but then he's like, yeah, I think you should. But
both of y'all should go.
Right? Maybe we'll figure something out. But yeah, I don't want to tell him just yet. Like, your birthday's going to be while you're at school. But we've had like conversation about school. And
how's he taking it?
He seems pretty like he's ready for it.
Yeah.
Because we kind of like talked about it. We've been like really big in going to the library this summer. Mm-hmm. And he has enjoyed like all the books about going to school. Aww. And so some of the characters, what I do is like I change their name to Ezra, and he's just like, oh, Ezra, like me. I was like, yeah, just like you when you're first day of kindergarten. So I'm just like,
you're so cute.
I just try to make everything like as like comfortable and the process of
so
like.
So he looks forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's just, I don't know who's gonna have the worst separation, exciting me or him.
You may at first, and then you're like, God, I have all this free time. What do I do?
What the fuck do I do? Right? I know.
But I think, like, the first few, like, weeks and stuff, you're going to be, like, anticipating, like, picking him up from school.
Yeah.
And, like, hearing about his day. And I think you're really going to love that.
Yeah. And see, with Audrey, it was a little bit different because she was already going to daycare. Mm-hmm. So I know, like, mamas who've put their kids in daycare, like, you guys know, it's a little easier transition because they're kind of used to that that structure and that schedule, for him, he's just been with me.
Yeah.
And like even like taking him to like stay at like the grandparents is also like a hard transition because he'll like miss us or like he'll ask, you know, and that's a little bit different. But yeah, we'll see how it is.
Watch him be like, peace.
Maybe I'm just like, and I'm over here like, oh my
Mom
God,
and Dad are out. Let's do this.
Right? Like he's a Leo, so maybe, you know, that main character energy, like I would not doubt.
He's gonna be so independent. You just watch.
I know. I'm happy for him. I know he's looking forward to it, but you have that anxiety in yourself that like, but what if the teacher doesn't know this, or like what if the teacher, and like obviously
I think that's all normal.
Like they wouldn't be teachers and be doing what they do if they didn't enjoy it and like know what to do. So
did you meet his teacher yet?
Not yet. We have it next week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we have like new student orientation, and then we have meet the teacher.
Oh, okay.
So we still have that coming up. But
so is he? What have you told him yet about school?
Everything, or like we have like with the books that we've done, and like we had this whole like thing in the library where they kind of do like reading time, and then like he's been playing on their like computers. If you like, I don't know in what point of my life I stopped like even thinking of taking my kids to libraries, but like taking Ezra back and like showing him like the stuff that the library provides, it's so underrated for like moms who have like kids at home. And just in general, like to take kids and have a different space outside of their home to even like do homework, like that's something that like I definitely want to like make sure like we keep doing. Oh shit, we keep doing, because
and I think with COVID happening too, like people didn't even think about it, they forgot about it. You know, like it's just more safe to be at home, so why even go to the library? But that's such a good idea, because I remember my mom taking us to the library as kids too. I mean, I couldn't even tell you how to look for a book in the library nowadays.
Well, now they have like a whole computer search system. So you just enter like what you're looking for, and
Girl,
it tells
remember you had to pull that thing out and be like, look at the, I don't know, what is it called?
The index card, like the little Rolodex.
Was it the Dewey Decimal?
Yeah, well, that's what the system is called.
Right.
But they had like a Rolodex of like.
You had to like go through a drawer, look for like the author or the type or the name of the book or whatever, and then like pull the card out and like take it to where it is in the freaking library. That's like freaking old school.
Our kids could never.
Now you just type it in and it tells you where it is.
Yeah, you're right. But how about you? How about you? Besides, my summer has not been that interesting.
It's been good. I mean, I moved to a new apartment. It's, you know, it's still close to where I used to live, so it's in the same area. But that anxiety of having to move and moving, and it was just a lot. I mean, and rent, I'm sure the price of everything has gone up. So you can just imagine the stress that I've been under and the anxiety I've had of like, can I freaking do this? You know? Luckily, it's been a month. It's been a month. I've survived a month in my new apartment with the rent increase.
You're like, don't ask me nowhere because I just paid rent, and so.
But you know, I luckily I'm the type of person that makes every place that I live a homey, and like I feel comfortable. And so I'm like, okay, well, this is home now, and like I feel comfortable. I love being home. So, but I finally feel like, okay, everything's kind of settled down. I'm good. Like, I'm trying now to just like focus, like I had talked about previously, of like just focusing on myself, on my health, and, you know, taking care of myself mentally, physically, everything. So like it means like cooking at home and making sure that I feel good, and like I've felt good lately. So that's a good thing. Like, I don't know why I woke up this morning and I was just having like anxiety, but not anxiety bad, but it was just like, oh my God, I have all these things, like thoughts in my mind of what I want to do, what I need to do, and stuff like that. So it's kind of like that feeling like you come out of like the fogginess, and now it's like it feels clear. Yep, for sure. Yeah, that's how I feel. So I'm really, really glad that everything is kind of falling together nicely. I mean, moving is stressful in general. Oh God, yes. But then you like add the like working from home, and you know the price of everything is increasing, and it's like it was just a lot of stress for me to even be under, and I downplayed a lot of it, but it was like a lot for me. And then I was like, okay, finally settled. Time to just take care of myself. So that's where I'm at right now.
Just taking care of you. As far as like that goes, I think from the last time, this is the second apartment you've gotten since kind of like being on your quote unquote own.
Yes.
How has that feeling been from going from your parents to like finally a big girl apartment to like even a bigger girl apartment where it's like you're creating now more of a momentum, like how you said, like you're worrying about yourself, you're taking care of yourself. How has that feeling been? Because I know how you are, and you're just thinking of like all the moments where you're just like, oh my God, like I'm here.
Yeah, I think I don't want to cry.
Oh.
I don't want to cry, but it really made me think.
I'm the same way.
It really made me think when I left my previous apartment before this one, of like that was my apartment when I was like, okay, I moved away from home. I came back home. I lived with my parents for a couple years, and I finally got this space of my own. And it wasn't the ideal place I wanted to live at. It was just somewhere where I could just call home because it's what I could afford. It was close enough to my parents and whatever. And like I lived there for 3 years. You know, I spent COVID there. And like when I was moving and packing up my stuff, I'm like, I can't believe I did this by myself. Like this was my home. Like this was my first home where I finally felt like, oh my God, I fucking did this on my own.
On your own.
You know? And so it was time to upgrade. It was time to like get something new and something bigger for myself where I feel more established. And I feel like that now. Like,
yeah.
I feel like, okay, this is my spot. And then I think about too of like, I don't even know if I want to move anymore. Like if I get married and stuff, I don't know. We'll talk about this later on, but it's like, if I ever get married, is it possible for me to like have my own apartment?
I always think of that Carrie moment where she wants to keep her apartment, right?
Yes.
Like, I always, there's also this TikTok, you guys know me, I always refer to TikToks because I have nothing else to do, where it's like, imagine sharing the space with a man. Like,
girl, that's me. And I'm sure, like, my boyfriend, he loves his home too. He loves his space. We're like the same people. We're very homebodies, like, whatever. And so I know he loves his home. I love my home just as much. So it's like when he's with me, like I know he's looking forward to going home. But when I'm with him, I'm looking forward to going home. But we love spending time together. I don't even know if that makes sense. But I'm like, I feel like we just always need that individual, independent space of our own to just be like, this is mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And especially as a woman and like things that I've been through, I'm like, this is my space. Like, I don't have anybody telling me how to decorate. I don't have anybody telling me what I need to do. Like, when I need to clean. If the dishes want to stack up in the sink, they're going to stack up in the sink. You know? So, I mean, I like that. I like that nobody's there to tell me what to do. You
know, that's why I kind of now understand older generations where they had separate beds.
Girls, bitch, same. Or I'm like, you're hogging up the blanket.
No, me and my husband sleep with separate blankets, and then sometimes he'll just leave to the couch because he's just like, I'm too hot, and like you're moving around, or I can't sleep, and I don't want you know to disturb you. So I get,
girl. I mean, if that's what's gonna keep the peace in the relationship, might as well. I don't see anything wrong with it because honestly, I mean, it's not just the only like the separate beds. What about separate rooms?
Right, separate bathrooms. Oh my.
Because I love to sleep cold.
Yeah.
And when my boyfriend's with me, he's like, I'm going to get pneumonia. I'm like, it's like, this is just how I sleep. I'm sorry.
You baby.
Like, put some clothes on or wrap yourself in a blanket. This is just how I like to sleep cold. I'm not going to be miserable and not be able to sleep because you're hot or you're cold.
Yeah.
Like, this is just how I sleep.
Yeah.
So go sleep on the couch. I don't know what to tell you.
Get another blanket. Well, speaking of boyfriend, how are things with B?
Good. Things are good. It's been almost a month that we haven't seen each other. We won't be here. God. I know, girl. It's like, don't even get me started. It's been tough, but
I know for you, it's definitely tough.
We promised each other like this coming time that he comes in a few weeks. Like we're gonna set some dates and like what are we doing? Because I feel like last year we were all about it. Like we put stuff on the calendar months in advance. And this year, it was just kind of like, well, whatever happens, happens. Like, are you free this weekend? Sure, I guess. You know? And so, like, we kind of just took a step back. And, like, I'm ready to just now, okay, we really need to put some stuff down on the calendar. Yeah. But it's really kind of tested our relationship too, of like how long can we go without seeing each other?
Oh, by choice or just like because you're just keeping things up in the air?
Yeah, just because things are we're keeping things up in the air, and he is a very like this man's always got to have a plan.
So he's like meticulous in like what?
Yeah. Oh. And so like if he comes and we don't have a plan, it's like, well, why am I going?
What are we? Is he type A?
Very.
Oh my! How does that work with you? Because I know you're the same way.
I mean, I am more laid back, go with the flow.
I guess when you have to, you're type A.
Yeah, like, when I have to, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
But he's like always got to have something going on, and his brain is always going like a million miles an hour. Okay. And always thinking, always ready to go, and I am just like chilling. I don't like. It'll get done, you know, like, and he's like, no, it needs to get done right now. I'm like, can we chill? Like,
okay.
I want
he totally beats your type A then.
Yeah, he totally beats it. So, you know, when he came when I moved and like he was helping me move. I mean, he didn't move any furniture and stuff like that. He did a little bit, but mostly we hired movers. Yeah. But he was the one that was like delegating tasks. So like, okay, you need to box this up. You need to do this and that. And I'm like, the movers will do it. The movers. It's fine.
Oh my God.
Oh, I know it drives him crazy, but you know, that's just how I am. I'm like, it'll get done when it gets done. And he's just like, no, we need to do it this way and that way. And I'm just like,
why are you stressing?
Dad? I don't like.
This is why you're stressed. Okay, sir. This is why you're stressed all the time.
Yeah, see, I think that stresses me out is when people are like that with me. I'm like, no. This is why I do things my way, and I do them by myself. So I don't want anybody telling me how to do it. I don't want anybody rushing me.
Be like, I invited you to come here to help me, not tell me how to do it. Yes. Yeah. Oh, I know that.
Yeah, but he's very type A. So, like, I feel like we've always got to have a plan to do something. So he has a reason to come.
Oh, gotcha.
I know that sounds like so, like, I don't know, dumb, but I get it, you know?
No, yeah. I think for him, he thrives on, like, the excitement of doing stuff with you and, like, seeing you excited to whatever plans you have going on. And, like, vice versa. I'm sure when you go over there to him, he has, like, oh, we're going to do this, and then we should do this. Or is it a little bit different?
Well, I mean, yes and no. Because, like, we'll have one big thing we're going to do.
Oh, okay.
You know, and then afterwards, we're like, oh, we're exhausted. Like, I swear, we're the same type of people. Because, like, he goes out with people or, like, you know, for work or whatever. And he's like, I got to be fake for 3 days or whatever. And I'm like, fuck, I hear you. Like, I cannot do that.
Like, you can hide it in your face.
Well, he's just a personable person. Like, he just likes people. And so, like, you know, when you're trying to talk with people, I guess he feels he has to be a certain way and, you know, to keep up a conversation.
Have you faked it around me, sir? That's what I want to know.
No, he's not like that.
I know.
Like, it's mostly with people, like, work and stuff like that.
Oh, I can see that because, like, yeah, like, you have a different facade or, like, person you are at work.
Yeah, and there's certain people, too, in his life, too, that he's like, oh, I got to be around these people for freaking 5 days. But he puts up with it. Yeah. And so I'm asking him, like, you put up with me like that? Like, when I leave, are you're like, overthinking? God, thank God. I'm like, are you like, thank God she's gone, like, I can, like, chill? And he's like, never. He's like, we can be in the same room and be quiet for all day. Like, we don't have to say anything to each other. I'm like, thank God, because I'm like, I don't want to have to entertain you.
You know, the best moments are when you're just right there, just, like, not doing anything.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm the person that's like, I'm more excited because I'm like, what are we going to do today? And he's like, can we just chill? And I'm like, I guess, you know, like
I chill all the time.
I know, when you're not like, goddamn. But no, it's good. We're good.
That's good. That's so good to hear. I know our lovely followers like to hear into your relationship because it's just, we've kind of seen it unfold.
Yeah.
You know? So every now and then that we get to, like, catch up on the hot gossip.
Sometimes I feel like, I think this week, too, I was, like, thinking, is this what a healthy relationship is?
Right?
You know, like, you have
boredom, to me,
okay, like, you talked about it, right?
Yeah, I've talked to you about it.
Oh, like, you just thrive on chaos, right?
Yeah.
Or you're like,
we talked about 3 bottles of champ later. And Liz is just like, new therapy moment. But yeah, I mentioned it to you guys where I was like, and this is just because like this is the new, my mom said, my therapist said that feeling boredom is normal. Mm-hmm. Boredom is a feeling. It's an emotion.
Yeah.
And when you're feeling that type of way and you think that something's wrong in your relationship, it's really not because there's something wrong in your relationship.
Yeah.
And I've had to recently kind of come to terms with the fact that, like, healing, a big part of myself is learning that love is not based on chaos.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that my relationships don't have to thrive on chaos.
Yeah.
Because I feel bored.
Yeah.
Because that's technically the feeling I'm feeling, that we must not be having a fire between us, or there's not this like sense of like,
where you're like, do you still love me?
Yeah, like, yeah. Right. Like, and it's like, why are you seeking for this validation in your relationship with like that reassurance of like, if there's not chaos, then we're not happy.
Yeah.
You know, because I mentioned it before, maybe in one of the episodes where I said, like, I feel like sometimes I have to pick a fight.
Yeah.
To kind of like get the attention, and like I don't do that anymore. Like, I mean, I stopped doing that, but like once I started having those feelings of like, damn, like this feels like we're just roommates, you know, that's when I was like, oh, that's not okay. Like, what's going on, you know? But when I talked to like my husband, he's like, I don't feel that way. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm so fucking broken.
I feel like guys are so much more chill about that situation. I think we're like, us women, us being like, or we've been broken before by men, where we feel that we need that validation from them to be like, do you still love me? Do you still like me? Like, you still think I'm pretty?
Yeah,
like, you still want me here?
You don't know.
And he's like, what makes you think that I don't? Like, you're still here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, like, you haven't touched me today. And I'm like,
you haven't hugged me. Or you came in and you didn't even give me a kiss hello. Oh my God. Yeah.
And I had to learn to be okay with that. Like, if he doesn't text me every morning, or if he doesn't like call me at a certain time or whatever, I just have to like just be okay with that and be like, it's not a big deal. Like, when he calls, I know that he loves me. I know that, like, I don't need to question that. And he always tells me that. Because I'll be like, do you know that I love you? He's like, yeah, I know. I'm like, how do you know? He's like, I don't question things that I know.
Yeah. To them, it's that simple. And we're just like...
So I'm trying to like have that mindset of like, okay, I should not question this man. I should not question how much he loves me. I shouldn't question, because like, I'm like, do you think I'm pretty? He's like, what makes you think I don't think you're beautiful? And I'm like, because you didn't tell me.
Yeah. It's just like, we need to have that, like,
but I know I don't need it. Yeah. I just want to hear it from him, and I don't need to hear it. It's fine. But I don't know. I feel like I've needed that in past relationships where, like, if they didn't show that to me, then I felt like
something was wrong.
Yeah, something was wrong.
Yeah.
But him, I don't know. It just feels more comfortable. It feels like I'm in the spot where I need to be. And I don't need him. You know, I don't need him like that. I don't need his every single, like, ounce of attention.
Or validation.
At
or
all.
Anything. Yeah.
None at all.
You know? And I think, like, with, like, almost 8 years, and we're gonna be 4 years married at the end of August. I don't know, like, it makes you question a lot of things that it just like feels like, is this like monotonous? Like, are you kind of like over me? And it just makes you question yourself in general. Like, are we gonna make it? And it just, so it puts it into play. I'm like, oh, we haven't even like had the conversation of like, we're going to come up into like 10 years, or we're going to go into 5 years, you know? Yeah. And I'm always that type of person. I guess I overthink everything, and I'm just like, are we even going to make it? And
okay, so question. So because I am long distance, I can't relate in this sense. But like, when I hear from my boyfriend, or I see him, or I anticipate seeing him, I get excited. Do you get excited about, like, with your spouse at any point?
I am so excited when he gets home. Like, it's weird.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I can tell him.
So cute!
Even though we're texting throughout the whole day, like, we're like, hey, how are you doing? Like, did you guys have breakfast? And I'll text him, like, about work. I'm like, are you okay? Like, it's hot. Like, you know, I'm like, did you take your hydration packs? Or I'm, like, checking up on him throughout the day. I'm still excited for him to get home.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, like, we have a different, like, or I feel like I have a different feeling when he's home, because then I can see his excitement, or I could see like if he had a bad day, and I can kind of tell from his face, and I kind of know, like, kind of the attention that like he kind of needs, where if I ask him about his day, I know he can vent to me about it, you know, because I feel like he doesn't really talk about it unless I ask. And that was like a big issue with us, like in the beginning of our relationship, that I just felt like I couldn't ask because it was like his work or like that side of life.
What made you feel like you couldn't ask?
Past trauma, like my relationships, like, why are you asking, and blah blah blah, you know, like when they make you feel like, why do you need to know that? And it's just like, I just want to have a conversation. You know what I mean? Like, and so with him, I knew if I didn't ask, he wouldn't tell me. Or there'll be times where if we did have an argument, he's like, well, you never ask, or you never like care. So then I worked on myself, you know, where now I'm like, well, I want to hear about your day. Like, you know, and like, how was it? And he'll tell me, and he'll vent, and like, I know he'll feel better about it. But it's because I just know him in that sense, where he's just like, he won't bring it to me if he doesn't feel like it's important.
Okay, I gotcha.
You know, and I guess that just comes from like maybe his own past like trauma, where he's like, I don't think my issues are as important or whatever, where he ever has felt like that.
But when you ask him, does he feel like, oh, she wants to know about me?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And he'll tell me, like, and I'm just like, oh, okay. Like, and I'll listen, you know? And so I think that.
Does he talk about people like you don't know?
Oh, all the time. All the time. And he'll be like, yeah, this girl at the main office, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And he'll just like tell me, and I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. And by the time like I've seen him or something, like crossing, and he's like, that's the girl or whatever. And it's just like, oh, okay. Like, you know? So it's just like moments like that, which, I mean, it just comes to show like there's just different parts of like your relationship where things just kind of unfold the way they have to unfold. Be okay with it. And it's just like, being bored is an okay feeling in a relationship. It doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means you're not living off of chaos anymore. I mean, I grew up in a chaotic like home, and so like having a sense of, there had to be an
argument about something, everything
to like, even have a conversation. And with us, it's just like, nope. It's just boring but happy. Like I don't know how to explain it.
Sometimes I have to like you said, like create chaos, but in a playful manner, because I like to like keep him on his toes.
Yeah. Know? I'm like, if I die, how long would it be until you move on? And then he gives me an answer, and I said, wrong, bitch. No, you don't get to move on.
I like watching like TikTok videos and like where couples are asking each other questions. Yeah. And there was one, I can't even tell you what the questions were, but they were just hypothetical questions on my end, because I know that it wouldn't be anything that, it was a therapist. It was a therapist that was like, okay, these are the things that you need to ask your partner before you, I guess, establish your relationship. Is like, one of them is asking him if there's anybody that thinks that they're in a relationship with them. Huh. You know, like it could be them dating somebody or like talking to somebody, and that other person thinks that they're in a relationship with that person. Oh. And so there was like all these questions, and then
write them down.
And so I asked him, there was one of them that said like, ask your partner or ask them, you know, if you deal with any like mental health issues like depression, anxiety, if they are available to like take on that energy from you when you're having a bad day. And so that was one of the questions I asked him. I said, okay, you know what I deal with. I said, do you have like, should I be asking you if you have the mental capacity or like the energy to hear about my issues if I'm going through something? And he's like, don't I always like, I was like, I want to be conscious of your like mental health, and be like, if you're going through something, like I want to hear it too. But you know, if you're going through something, I don't want to put something more on your plate. Right. And he's like, I'm pretty good at like handling situations. And he really is. Like, that man just never has anything going on. I don't know if it's a man thing or what, but it's like, he just lets things go, and like, he doesn't worry about them. He's like, I handle everything. I don't stress about stuff like that. He's like, I handle everybody that's in his life. Everybody that's a priority to him, he like takes care of. And so he's like, don't I hear you out? Like I do that for you. And I was like, yeah. I said, but I just want to make sure, because I never asked him that question. I don't
think we really do ask the men in our lives, especially like boyfriends, in a way. Maybe it's just like learned or taught, like you should be able to. I don't know. But that's a good question.
Yeah, but I just never wanted it to be like so much where he is like, God damn, this girl's got a lot of fucking issues. Or like, God damn, she's like always having anxiety about something. But it's like, I just wanted to make sure that he was aware and that he was okay with what I go through. And he's like, I don't think you go through anything that bad. He goes, and every time you tell me something, it's like you've already gone through it. And you're just venting to me about how you got through it. And I'm like, well, that's true. I never thought about that way. Because, like, I don't, like, have anxiety and be like, what do I do? I, like, mentally process it. I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And then I'll bring it to his attention. I'm like, okay, this is what I did.
Yeah, because you're not looking for him to, like, solve anything for you.
No, not at all.
Like, you're like, okay, like, I had this moment where this and that happened. Like, tell me, what do I need to do? Like, that's not you.
And I was. God damn, it would like save so much fucking time. Oh God.
But I think like you
have no idea how much I want to be that person to be like, here's my problems. Can you just help me fix it, please?
Yeah, but that's not you.
God.
That's not you. And I think that's why.
That's what I'm working on for myself. And I know that's an issue. I've been like reading a bunch of stuff. It's like that's the trauma response too, of like taking on so much shit that it's like you're afraid to even ask anybody for help.
Yeah.
And so like that's what I'm working on. I'm like, okay, I'm going to reach out when I fucking need help, or like I can't do something. And so that's what I'm going to be trying to work on.
That's kind of like letting a little bit of the softness in yourself come out.
Yeah, for sure.
Because for a long time I fought against that feeling of wanting to not be the one who is needed, but be the one who needs.
Yep.
And that's a big thing that I've been working on myself as well, when I kind of started putting myself into like the gym and doing therapy and not like trying to band-aid one thing over the other. And then I really realized how much softness I have and how much like I've let go of trying to be the one that needs to figure it out. When I have a man by my side who has always offered to like take on the load for me, and I have finally reached the point where I'm like, do it for me. Like, just, like, take on that for me. Like, please do. And, like, I don't question the intentions on why he does things for me. I don't question that his nature is wanting to nurture me. I have fought against that for so long.
Because we're just so programmed to be like, I can do it myself. Like, I've never needed anybody to do it for me. I can do it myself. Even though it fucking stresses you out, like, of course you got to do it, because we're just so programmed, and like we've just been not taught, but like that's just our surviving mechanism of like just doing it because we've always had to do it. You know, and who's gonna do it right if when you've been doing it all along? Me. I might as well just do it. So yeah, it's like letting go of certain things where you're like, you cannot have control over every situation. Like, let it go. If you can't do something, I mean, and I've even done that with work stuff. I'm like, look, I don't have the bandwidth, I don't have the mental capacity to do this anymore. Hand it off to somebody else. I can't do it.
And I think that's the great part of like that self-awareness, because it takes time to realize that you, your own self, have been toxic to yourself. And to unlearn that, like, it's not because you want to, it's because it's what you've kind of been taught to do. And if you've had no one to really kind of hold you up and say, I got you, you're not going to, like, just let go because you want to let go. Like, you're like, nah, bitch, I'm holding on for dear life until I can't. And, like, I've come to terms with it. In a weird way, the gym has helped me with that. To find the confidence in myself that I'm like, you know what, I can do this for myself, but not for the purpose of like aesthetics or like to look a certain way, but like to know that like me, myself, what I want for myself, I'm going to do for myself. And what I can't, I want someone else to do it for me. Yeah. And so like even my husband's noticed. He's like, you're normally the one who's like Captain Save-A-Ho and you want to do everything for everyone. But like now he has this feeling of like almost like he says he's felt like a release of like now I can pull like the weight I've been wanting to in the way of being your husband and not just your partner.
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing.
It's a different thing, I guess. And it's not in a patriarchal type of way because it's so weird to explain it in a way that makes me not seem like I'm bending at my husband's will. You know what I mean? Because some people are like, you're being so submissive. And it's like, well, I've had to be strong for too long. Yeah. I've had to be...
Let him be a man.
Yeah. And I'm just like, I'm tired of holding on to like this feeling that I can do it all when I don't have to. I have a man. Like,
yeah.
I fucking do it.
I mean, that... I'll be honest. That's what having a man and a husband and a partner is for. Yeah. It's like... And it's the vice versa. If there's something that he can't do, trust, I will do it for him. Like, it's not just me that's like, here's all my load of shit. Take care of it. No, he's going to be doing the same for me. If there's something he can't do, trust, I will do it for him. You know?
For the right man, the woman will bend. Like, as bad as that may sound to some people, because I know people are like, oh my God, like, she's submissive to her husband. It's like, yeah, well, shitty men don't get wives. I'm just...
Facts. Amen. They don't. Because in real...
Shots fired.
It's true, though. Like, if you're... It's just like the saying, like, if you're doing wife duties for a man that you cannot see or doesn't act like a partner and a husband, why fucking do them?
Don't do wife duties on girlfriend salary.
Don't. You know, I mean, I see my partner and I have a lot of respect for him because he does for me what no man has ever done for me. Yeah. And that's just emotionally.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, yeah, I want to be submissive to him. Like, he fucking opens his heart for me to be like, here, give me what you have, like, mentally, and give me the emotions that you haven't been able to share with anybody. Yeah. And, like, it makes me feel more vulnerable. I'm like, oh, okay, I can do this.
I can open up to you. I can tell you how I really feel and not have this feeling of abandonment.
Have y'all seen the pictures he takes of me? Trust me, if there was another man that took those pictures of me, I would have beat their fucking ass. I'm not even playing.
We need a part 3.
I'm not playing. Like, that's what I think about when he sends me those pictures. I laugh because I'm like, I felt so comfortable with him to be able to allow him to take pictures of me. Because if it was anybody else that I didn't feel that comfortable with, I would have been like, you better fucking delete those pictures and never show them to me ever again.
Yeah, you catch these hands on sight. Yeah.
But, like, he's just made me feel so comfortable even in my own skin. So it's like, how can I do that to him? If he sees me as beautiful, who am I to just be like, no, I'm not?
Yeah. Girl, take that compliment and run with it. Like, I don't know what
and
to
he's
tell
like,
you.
I even asked him one time because I am just a curious person. So I ask him sometimes. I'm like, I was like, no, there was something I had seen on TV, and this girl had so much confidence. She's like, oh, my husband loves when like I wear these tops and they were revealing and stuff. And I'm like, how can somebody be that confident to say my husband loves when I wear this shit? And he's like, well, why don't you? And I was like, God damn, what is this? Like, why don't you? Why are you attacking me?
Why don't you?
But it was true because he's like, I think you look beautiful in this. And I was like, I don't ever believe the words. I wasn't believing the words he says. So if he says that you look beautiful in it, fucking believe him. Yeah. And tell everybody that he thinks you're beautiful in it. And so, like, that's how I feel now. I'm like, if he tells me something, I'm not going to question it.
Yeah. Because who else do you need to impress, or who else are you looking forward to, right? Because I've had the same questions of, like, what I wear to the gym.
Like, your husband lets you wear that?
Yeah.
Girl. Like, he thinks I'm fucking hot.
He's the one buying me this shit. Like, I'm not working. I don't have fucking money right now. Like, it's our money. But Yeah, the same way. And sometimes he's like, you know what? I just want to go to the gym just to watch guys watch you. Like, I won't even go work out. Or he'll be like, babe, like hike up the shorts a little bit more. Like, it makes your booty look good. And like, that's
it's for him. It's not for other men. But
that's
he's
the confidence that like he's given me. Like, if my husband can't tell me not to wear that, like, even though just like in myself, like, motherfucker, like, fuck you, the fuck telling me what to wear. But like, aside from that, my husband's like, I'll send him like gym pics all the time, and he'll be like, you know what, you could have just lower the top. And I'm like, shut up. Or like, he's like, why the fuck are you wearing that shirt over it? Or just stuff like that, you know? So I'm like, yeah, like, even just the man in your life, like, will help with that confidence. And it's crazy because I've seen like women's like videos and TikTok where it's like during marriage and divorce. And I'm like, those are there's two different marriages. And where someone's dusty ass son is stressing you, and then you leave him, and now you find yourself. But I feel like mine's been in a way that, like, I married, and my glow up has been because of my husband. So there's two different types of, like, men you end up. The dusty son who stresses you, or the man who lifts you up and gives you confidence and helps build you up from post-trauma, like, you know, relationships.
But I think also, too, sometimes, maybe this will be controversial to some people, but I think sometimes people get married to get divorced.
How many days was it? 72 days with Kim?
Honestly, I think people get married because they need some sort of validation to be like, this man loves me. And then when you realize he doesn't love you the way you thought it was going to be in your marriage,
you leave him.
And then you learn that, okay, this is not what I want in a marriage. This is not what marriage is.
For some people, I guess that commitment of marriage is what will tell them whether or not, like, this is meant to be. And, like, in my head, at first being, like, anti-marriage was, like, I don't want to marry you for the reasons that people say I want to marry you. I want to marry you on my terms of I want to spend the rest of my life with you.
Yeah.
And a piece of paper to me is just XYZ, you know? And so, like,
it's letting the government know that I'm fucking married to you.
Period. That's all it is. But yeah.
If this is legal, like, and you're not fucking leaving me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think, like, for that, like, that's what commitment to them is marriage. Not being in a relationship committed is enough to some people. And yeah, you're right. I feel like they don't realize that, like, it's more than just like, all right, now we can dip. It's way more expensive to get a divorce than get a $75 like marriage certificate.
Is that how much they are?
Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, I like 75 and some.
I always like to like kid with my boyfriend. I'm like, oh, if I get married, he's like, why do you say that? Like, I'm like, because I don't know. Like, is it gonna happen? He goes, you just have to have confidence.
I barely have a confidence to wear a low top. To cleavage.
But no, it really is up to, like, if a man is really a man, he will give you all the confidence that you need, that you don't have to question him. You just do. And he allows you to be the woman that you are and that you've always needed to be for yourself.
Right.
And that you can be for your family and your kids and for him. And it really is up to the man. Like, you give her the tools that she needs, supporting her, loving her, admiring her, adoring her for all that she is, and she will give you literally everything that you ever want.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And I think that's why it irks me when I hear, like, these incels just, like, fucking talk shit on women on the fact that, like, she doesn't cook like her mom anymore, and she doesn't do this, and, like, you know, she let herself go, and all this shit. And it's like, dude, if you would have been treating her right, you would have had those things and more. Yeah. But you want to be a piece of shit, then you're gonna get shit back. Like, I don't, like, it irks me.
For the majority,
like,
women are like products of the people that are around them. So, like, if you're not treating her a certain way, then
what do you expect?
Yeah, what do you expect? I mean, it's not all the time, I promise. Like, there are some women that are shitty, but for the most part, like, I don't think women are like that.
Definitely.
I don't think women are like that. I think women are naturally just the type that, want men to nurture them as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and when it's reciprocated as well, like it's a lot easier to kind of like be able to do that, because the last thing I want to do is have a man walk through the door and be like, "Bitch, get up and make me dinner," because you got the wrong one.
How about you go and make me a sandwich too while you're in there?
Because I thought you said something. You said something. Like, seriously.
That's such a good thing too, because my boyfriend is not the type to be like, and this has happened in my family too, where like he'll come over and my mom will make something to eat and she's like, "You need to serve him." And he's like, "No, she doesn't. Like, I'll do it."
Oh my God.
And she's like, "Mel, you better serve him." And I'm like, "He can do it. Like, it's fine. I don't have to." And like, he'll tell me, he's like, "Does your family know that I got 2 legs? Like, I can do this on my own?" I said, "They're just used to the women doing stuff for them." I said, "And I know you are not like that."
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe I serve him too much. Maybe I serve him too little. Like, I will let him do it himself. And he is not the type either that says, like, "What are you making for dinner?" Ever.
Oh.
I'm the one that's like, "What do you want for dinner?" He's like, "You're going to cook?"
Yeah.
You know? Like, it's never expected. And I love that about him. Because, like, I want to cook because I'm tired of eating out. Or, like, I want to make something for him because that's a love language for me, to cook for somebody I love. And he's like, "Oh, we can go out to dinner."
Yeah. I'd be like, "Well, thanks."
And I'm like, "All right, let's go."
Don't tell me twice. Yes, exactly. And I think, like, that has taken, like, a different, like, perspective in mind, because I, like, in previous relationships, like, I was a 50-50% bitch. You know what I mean? And now, like, nah, you got me fucked up. You're the man of the house. Fucking figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, and that just goes to show, like, it's not about, like,
I think also we've been so programmed, too, to, like, give what we want to receive.
Yeah.
And, like, that's just how it's always been. Like, I'm not doing that for you if you don't do that for me.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's fair sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, for me, I've had to, like, if I love somebody, I'm going to do what I want to do for them.
Yeah.
And I don't want to expect anything in return.
Yeah.
You know, because I had to fight those urges, be like, you know what, he didn't call me, I'm not going to call him. Like, I think I'm at this point in my life where, like, I'm fucking tired of playing those games.
Yeah.
And be like, you know what? I'm going to do something because I love you. And that's the way that I show my love. I don't care if, like, you didn't do something for me, or, like, you didn't put your fucking clothes in the laundry basket, or whatever the case.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be like that anymore.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm going to do something because I love you.
Picking your battles is no longer a thing. It's just, like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I used to, like, always have a feeling I always used to nag. You know? Like, I always used to have to nag him. And I stopped doing that.
It's not worth it.
And not in the way that I stopped because I'm like, I'm just going to do it anyways. Once I stopped telling him, I felt like he only did it just to, like, irk me.
Yeah.
And now that I don't tell him, guess what? The clothes are now in the hamper by themselves. The toilet paper gets put.
What happens?
The toilet paper gets put on the.
Oh my goodness.
His shoes end up in the closet. Like, I stopped being like, "Babe, why can't you do this? Babe, why can't you do that?" Once I stopped doing that, like, out of fucking thin air, I'm like, "Bitch, who the fuck came and did this?" Because I know I didn't.
And it's also, like, it honestly also is, like, putting your foot down, too.
Yeah.
I didn't know this was going to be a relationship fucking.
I don't know how this made a turn, but it's going good. Let's keep going.
But anyway, it was like their expectations of you.
Yeah.
Because I am such, like, a giving person. Not giving, but, like, I do stuff for him that, you know, that's easy for me. Like, I'm not going to nag and be like, do it yourself or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But, like, literally, I just remember this right now. Like, when I was in the middle of moving, he was working and I had some time off. And I was doing stuff in the apartment, and he was like, "Hey, where's this?" And he was, like, you know, he was sitting down working, and he was asking for the remote. I was like, "Oh, the remote's," and I was in the laundry room or downstairs or something. And I was like, oh, the remote's over there. And like, he was waiting for me to go give it to him. And I know that's what he was doing. He was waiting for me to be like, oh, she knows where it is. I'll wait for her to give it to me. I'm like, you better get it because I don't have time. I'm busy right now. And he started laughing. He goes, God damn it. I was like, see, I knew you were waiting for me to do it for you. I said, but you have to really put your foot down and stuff like that because he's so used to me doing stuff like that for him. Where he's like, hey, can you get me a glass of water? Sure. I mean, that's just how we are.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to, like, he doesn't expect that from me, but he asked me and I'm like, oh, okay, he asked. Like, of course I'll do that for you. And so he does the same for me. I'll be like, hey, babe, can you lower the AC? Or can you bring me something? And he's like, yeah, he'll do it for me. But, like, when that case, I was like, you didn't ask me. You were thinking I was going to do it. You were expecting it. And I couldn't even see him because, like, I was in another room. He was in another room. I was like, I know he did not get up and get that fucking remote. I said, you need to get it because I'm not getting up there and getting it. I'm busy. And he starts laughing. I was like, I knew you were fucking waiting for me to do it for you.
They're not dumb. They are not dumb.
But I don't mind doing stuff.
No, like, I don't either
for somebody I love, no, never. It's never an issue
No,
for
it's
me.
not a chore. It's not a job or whatever. Like, it's just going to get done, right?
Yeah.
Because, I noticed the other day, I was sitting on the couch, and he got up to do something. I was like, babe, can you get me a water? But a cold one from the garage, and he goes and gets it. I was like, wait, while you're there, can you grab me a banana? He's like, do you want me to peel it for you? I was like, yeah, that way I don't, like, have to peel it here. And then he's, like, doing all this stuff for me. And, like, in my head, I'm like, damn, I'm a bossy bitch. But he's, like, doing it, you know what I mean? And in my head, I was like, my mom would never.
Because we've been so programmed to think, like, not to ask for stuff we want or need.
Exactly. And so, like, I can finally, like, live in my, like, housewife status and just be, like, take care of me.
Yes. And that's how it should be. I mean, it's reciprocated.
Yeah, no, of course.
You know, like, you don't ask if, like, I don't know. It's just, it feels comfortable. And it feels normal and healthy to just ask for what you want.
And it just flows. It just moves with you guys. I don't know. Like, to me, it doesn't seem crazy, but, like, even like the other day, and it was like a couple weeks back, like I was talking with my mom, and she had asked me like, oh, was I busy? Because, like, were you busy before, like, you came over here? I was like, no, Mom. I was like, soy mantenida, and if you don't know what that means, I'm just, like, taken care of. I'm a housewife. You know, I was like, no, Mom, yo soy mantenida. And she just started laughing. She's like, yes, honey, you are. She's like, and you deserve it. I was like, I know I do.
Yeah,
but
you do.
My mom was just like, because she looked at my sister, and she started laughing. She's like, maybe in a couple years, you'll be a mantenida, too. And I just started laughing. I was like, Mom, I went through my years. I went through it.
And you fought with yourself on that, too.
Oh, God.
Of, like, that whole process of, like, okay, I'm a stay-at-home mom. Like, my husband takes care of me. Like, maybe you felt like you weren't pulling your weight or whatever.
Oh, my God, yeah.
You know, but
for, like, the first maybe 2 years of it, I think.
It's 5 years now, girl. Like, it's time.
I know, right? And it's
But
crazy
it's a struggle when you've been such an independent woman for so long to be like, God, I finally have to let down these walls and let my husband be the man that he is supposed to be and take care of his family.
Right.
And you being the woman to just allow him to do that for you.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I'm still the bitch that's just like, like, what the fuck? Like, you can do it your damn self.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I am keeping my
because he allows you to be you.
Yeah, my independence aside from just being this, like, kept woman or mantenida, whatever you want to call it, because
that's submissive.
That's a difference.
Yeah.
That's a difference. Because he's not cutting me off from, like, going out to lunches with you guys or, like, for me to go to the gym. Like, you know, like, I have my own self aside from being just that.
Yeah.
And I think, like, people want to get it confused where you can't be both. You can't be your own person and be a wife and a mom.
Yep.
And I'll come to tell you that, like, that moment where you have that man by your side, and for me, I fought it for so long that now I can be soft and I can just not worry about the things that I used to feel like I had to worry about. I'm like, yes, babe, I want to go get my nails done. Or yes, babe, like, I want to go do this or do that. Or I want to go to lunch with the girls. And he's like, okay, go. Like, do you. Like, here, take the kids shopping or go. And it's like, you know what a big, like, weight off of my chest that has felt?
I think you had to learn to be comfortable with that and be like, okay, how can I ask for these things? Or how can I tell him without you feeling maybe anxiety or like maybe pressure?
Well, the thing is that I didn't have to.
Right, you didn't have to. You felt like you had to.
I felt like I did,
because you were just so used to being independent.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, how do I ask for these things? Even though you never had to
I never
learn
did.
how to ask. So it's just in your mind and your anxiety telling you couldn't do something, even though you could have all along.
Yeah.
You just were afraid of what the outcome would have been.
Which would be like, no, or like, this isn't like for you or whatever. And it's just like,
what do you think you are asking for? Hell no.
No, and now I don't. And now I don't. Now it's just like, oh, I sent you money. Or like, can you check? I sent you money. Or like, I'm going to get whatever for the bills aside because that man cannot function. The thing is, I'm the one that pays all the bills throughout, like, my whole thing, like, is set up. And he's like, here, I'll send you the bills. And then I put extra. And if you need more, just tell me or whatever. And like, I do not think twice and be like, can you send me extra money? Like, for what? He's like, for what? And then, like, when he tells me for what and I don't reply, he's like, I'm just kidding, of course. And he'll send it because I know, or he knows that I will not ask twice. I will not ask twice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
okay.
and then he'll be like, I was just kidding. I don't need to know for what, because I told it, like, I mentioned it to him.
Good that you
and I've had to have those conversations.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? It makes me feel some type of way when you ask me for what, because I just want to go to Target for no reason.
Yeah.
And he's like, I know you just find stuff or whatever, but I've also had to communicate to him, like, my feelings about it for him to not make it feel that way. You know what I mean? And it's just communication. It's just being able to be like, well, it makes me feel a little weird. But if you do need to know, like, and I always like coming back home and I'm like, hey, I got this for you or the kids or like for the house or something. And he's like, okay. You know, and I'm like here thinking like, I still have the receipt if I need to think about it. In my head, right? Like, I don't say that, but like in my head.
I hate that us women like us need to think that way. It makes me so sad.
I know.
It makes me so sad that we have had to deal with that shit.
And I've had to unlearn it because even like it upsets him when I like say like, oh, I got this and this and I'm excited, and then I was like, but if we don't need whatever, like he's like, no, like don't do that, like,
because I think it hurts his ego a little bit. Maybe it's not his ego, but like his manhood,
where he feels like I can't. My woman can't get this, and you feel some type of, I guess it could be that. And that's what I'm saying, like, he's slowly learned to be in, like, just accept that if I take a Target trip, I took a Target trip.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But don't go with me.
I don't need you to
judge me with what I put in my cart.
That one song is like, you ruined everything, you stupid bitch. I send that song to him all the time. When he's like, are you going to Target? Or when I go to TJ Maxx, boy, he's like, I want to go too. I was like, no, because then you're like, what do we come here for? And then I have to come here.
You're bored and you're rushed. And it's like, I don't want to be rushed. I don't want to be judged, okay?
It's a vibe.
If I want to go through the aisles 5 times, let me. Maybe I missed something.
Like, you've been going down the same cleaning aisle for no reason.
No, it's true. Like, I hate that we've had to be that way. I guess I don't know if it's our generation that's like this, because I mean, my mom is not like that at all.
No,
like my mom is very kind of old school. I mean, my parents have been together since they were 15, so they basically grew up together, shared their same bank account. I mean, they have separate accounts, but they share one as well. But I love that my dad is just lets my mom like do whatever she wants. You know, like
do you, girl?
And I think I've always looked up to that, and I've always told myself, I'm like, they don't make them like dad anymore. They don't make men like dad anymore. Like my mom says, oh, I'm going to Target, or I'm going to TJ Maxx. Yeah. You know, and my dad's like, they're still open? She's like, yeah, they don't close till whatever. And he goes, okay, you need money? She's like, yeah. She's like, no, I have money. And he's like, well, how much you got? You know, and she'll tell him. And he's like, okay, here's more. And I'm like, God damn, like, what about me? I'm going with her.
Can you put some money in for me?
But you know, like, I love that he's just like, oh, okay, you got money? And like making sure she's okay.
Yeah.
He like, you know, asks her every day or like once a week, you have gas in your car? And if she doesn't, he's like, okay, give me your keys. And he goes and gets her gas. Right. And it's like, God, I've always wanted that. Mm-hmm. And I've always like had that in my mind of like, they don't make them like him anymore. Yeah. Well, like, he lets her be her and she lets him do what he needs to do as a man. But I also think that there's men that probably don't know that those are things that you probably have to do as a man, or like not have to do, but like that's what a woman wants usually. Yeah.
Yeah. And hey, there is nothing wrong with it even being vice versa. I mean, there's some women holding it down for their dudes.
No, absolutely. Right? Absolutely.
Like, there's that too.
I am just not that bitch. Yeah. I'm not. Like, I'm like you. Like, I felt like
I tried.
I've done that for so long.
In my head, in my head, I look back at my past relationships and I was like, I was trying to be that bitch. For what? For, like, useless men who were just not... You know, like worth my...
I was thinking about this on my way over here. I'm tired. I'm tired.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa. Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
I just want a partner that wants to be a partner with me, and we got this together.
Yeah.
Because, like, if I can hold it down for myself, I promise you I can hold it down for you.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't want to, I'm tired of doing things.
I don't want to have to hold it down for both of us.
I'm tired of just doing stuff by myself. Yeah. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's it. I'm tired of doing things by myself.
You're tired of doing life by yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, like, that's, like, I would love for my partner to be like, oh, you're going to Target, you need money? And he's done that before. Trust me. He's done it before where he's like, when I go to San Antonio and go out with the girls or something, he's like, you got money? Yeah, I do. He's like, okay, well, let me know if you need something. Or he drops me off at Target. You got money? Yeah, I got money. You know, but, like, I wish I could be like, no.
What is my money?
I know.
Can you give me a little bit of
it's just the thought that counts, that he's, like, checking on me to make sure that I'm okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm like, no one has ever done that for me besides my dad.
Right.
No one.
Yeah. And that's the thing. And it's crazy to think about it because, like I said, I came from a chaotic home. Mm-hmm. Where my mom had to take care of everything because my dad slacked 100% on his side of things. So I didn't have a nuclear family that I looked up to. I looked up to my mom as being the man.
Yeah.
You know? So that's what I thought I had to work for. I had to be the one that was going to provide, because if I didn't, who else am I going to depend on if the dude decides to walk out on me?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Raised my daughter, did that thing, found Josh, did life with him in a different perspective. And then once I was pregnant with Ezra and I was a new mom again, that gave me a whole different sense of what being taken care of was.
Yeah.
And even though it was so hard, I had to come with terms that, like, you know what, I actually need this for myself, and I need this for our relationship.
Yeah.
To just be soft enough to be in, like, you know what, I need you to take care of me because I can't.
It's being vulnerable.
Yeah.
It's being so vulnerable that it makes you so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then when that person shows that softness with you, be like, it's okay to need me. It's okay to need something from me.
Right. It's almost
okay
like,
for me to take care of
you kind of saw.
Yes. It's like, oh my God, like there's a weight lifted off your shoulders to just be like, God, I can just be me. Like, I don't have to try. I don't have to, like, say something that doesn't make sense or, like, try to hide something. Because, like, trust me, I hid stuff from other people for a long time because I was afraid of what they would say or what they would think. But this person just, they allow me to just be me and, like, no judgment whatsoever.
Yeah.
They're actually asking me more questions to be like, oh, how did you get to this point? You know? And I'm just like, oh, really? You really want to know?
You really want to, yeah.
Well, here's what happened. You know, and even if it's hard for me to even say.
Talk about it.
Like, it gives them a little background of, like, why I am the way that I am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's true. And I think that's just either they're going to be able to carry it or they're not.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of where, like, you guys decide where that goes. But, like, yeah, I would have thought, like, years ago my husband would just took it off and ran because...
He's like, this bitch is going to ask me 21 questions just so I can help her.
Yeah. Basically. and have like a background check plus, you know?
But no, I think it's something that everybody deserves. I mean, not just women, but men too. They deserve that softness, you know, with them as well. And it like I said, it's reciprocated. So if this man is allowing you to be you and you reciprocate that to him and you allow him to be him, things flourish in such a beautiful way that you guys are just, I guess, boring, you know, because things are just so much more healthy that way. Yeah. It's just crazy. Like,
I'm like, this is what healthy boredom is healthy. You know? Yeah. So
I never thought I would be so comfortable talking about some topics with my partner that I talk about. Like, I won't even, like, pooping and stuff, you know? Like, it's just
I know. Josh last night was like, why are we talking about this? And it's just like, I don't know. What else can we talk about?
Yeah, he's like, did you poop today? I'm like, why are you asking me if I pooped today? He's like, I need to make sure, like, what if something happens to you? I'm like, what?
What? Stay off the Discovery Channel. Should be crazy.
And you know, and we have those conversations. And I'm like, I haven't pooped. I don't even think I pooped today. Yeah. And he was like, what?
Oh yeah. I get the really weird questions of like that, and I'm like, it's that not normal? He's like, no.
Yeah, he's like, God, I've like pooped 3 times already. I'm like, oh God, okay. You know, it's like conversations like that where I would
never have it with anyone else. No.
And it's just normal now. And like, I've always admired that from other couples that I've known. Where, like, you're sitting, like, I've always been the 3rd, 5th wheel. Like, 3rd or 5th wheel on fucking dates and shit. So, like, you hear these conversations with couples, and I'm like, oh, that's just so, what is it, like?
Nonchalant. Like, you're just talking
it's so pure to just hear somebody literally talking to their best friend about anything. Where you're like, oh, my God, y'all talk about that? And, like, now I'm in this relationship where I'm like, we talk about that. Like,
we are that couple that you sit next to us, and we're just, like, talking about weird conversations or stuff.
Where you're like doing like hand signs, like you're ready to go home. Like,
when I tug on my ear twice, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, it just feels healthy, and like I'm happy. I'm happy that I'm in this place where I'm like, okay, I'm good. Like I don't. Yeah.
You just have to like lean back and just kind of roll with it sometimes, and just be like, we're okay, Liz. Don't try to like sabotage this moment just because you feel like there's not enough chaos going on for you to just feel like this is normal.
I don't feel the need to be like lovey-dovey on him, like posting him or like, you know, I don't know, just saying like how much I love him.
I don't post my man at all. I think that's why people are like, do you have a man still?
It's just known. Yeah, I feel the same way. Like people are like, oh, you still have a boyfriend? Like, yes, I just like he knows I love him. I don't have to post about him all the time.
Right? Like for his birthday, you get a happy birthday.
Yeah.
But behind closed doors, you get something else. Well, you know, like I don't have to like post like my husband for y'all to validate our relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
Because some of the people who are posting all these like long paragraphs are
where
like,
I'm like, oh, what are y'all going through?
The ones that have shit to hide. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Because I always look back, I was like, that long ass paragraph for what, girl? For what? He cheated for what? And then y'all are sharing a fucking Facebook. No, mama's way.
Oh my God, I could never.
No.
Oh God, I don't think I've ever shared a Facebook with somebody.
No, we just share our Modern Day Mujeres Instagram.
Yeah.
But
like with a partner, I've never shared.
Oh hell no, no, not with the fucking partner. The fuck.
We don't even share a location. Is that weird? Do y'all share your location?
Hell no, the fuck. I want him to know. I left the studio and I'm still here. He's like checking my location. Hell no, the fuck I look like. The only thing I do share with him is like his watch and his iPod, his AirPods.
Oh, okay.
The motherfucker is always losing them. So I'm the one that he's like, hey, is it in the house? Or I think I may have left it somewhere random. And I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, check the thing because mine's like not popping up or whatever. And I'm like, no, mamis. And then like they're in the house or like he left them in like one of the shops that he went to go check. I was like, it's in a random parking lot by the fucking Barnes and Noble.
I've never known. Like, I have AirPods, but I don't ever see like their location or anything. No, I don't.
I had to do that for my daughter's AirPods, and now for like my Beats. For the location of my Beats and stuff like that, just because I've left them. Luckily, like, my gym's pretty good that I've left my Beats and like no one's touched them.
Oh, that's good.
Or like my
God,
whatever, like I especially like Beats, like
yeah.
So I've left them a couple times, and Josh is like, "Why don't you fucking turn on the location?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right," but yeah. Anyways.
I didn't know that. Now that's something for me to go look at. Girl, the other day I was like, I don't even know how to work this watch. Like, I kept going like this, you know, where like you put your wrist and it should pop up.
Oh,
where it wasn't popping up, and like I could feel that I was getting messages and stuff, but I'm like, where the hell is it? I don't know.
Oh, it was off?
No, it was on, but I had to push the button, and I was like, why isn't it coming up when I do my wrist like this? Girl, I took it off, charged it, and it still wasn't working. I feel like I'm technically technology, like, just dumb with this stuff.
Not tech savvy.
Well, I must have pushed a button on here or something.
Oh, where like the thing stays.
Yes.
Yeah, it happens to me too.
I had to Google. I was like, why isn't my watch working?
Oh my God.
I had to do that. I felt like such an old lady doing that, but I'm like, oh, I must have pushed something, but I didn't know I had pushed it.
Yeah, so I think like it has like a thing on there where like it's on theater mode or something like that.
It was theater mode. Yeah. Because I was like, okay, these little masks are up here at the top. What does that mean? So I Googled, what are the two masks on the iPhone?
I knew you did that.
I feel like an idiot. And they're like, oh, it's in theater mode. I'm like, okay, well, how do I take it off theater mode?
I know my miss.
Oh my God, that's embarrassing.
Well, story of our lives. Well, that's all.
Well,
that's the story of my life. I hope you guys liked it. Well, remember we kept
Is
saying
it Lizzie McGuire that says
I think so. He's like, well, that's my life. I hope you had fun, because I know I sure did.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Speaking of TikTok, I feel like I wanted to talk about this for so long. I love TikTok. Oh,
God, I'm obsessed.
I am too.
It's not healthy.
But I feel like we're just in this time of, you know, this era where we have so much information.
Yeah.
It's so much information.
I feel like I'm not even breathing right anymore.
Yeah, like we have so much information, and don't get me wrong, a lot of TikTok stuff is beneficial, so informative, but sometimes it's like wrong, or it's like doesn't work. And I'm speaking this, like, I'm going to try to make this funny, because it really is fucking funny to me, where like I love watching like get ready with me videos. I love watching makeup videos and stuff. Well, like I wear makeup like once a week, if that, okay? Once a week. And I'm like watching, I haven't worn eyeliner in so long. Girl, don't look at my eyeliner. So I'm like looking up like fucking like how
what
do you
look at?
Like how do you how do you put eyeliner on for hooded eyelids, because that's what I have. Girl, I tried.
Did you try to do the bat wing?
Yes. Girl, this is what I came up with. This is no, I'm not letting you see. And I was like, I don't fucking have time to start my makeup over. I fucking hate when TikTok does this. I'm like, you have so many goddamn good techniques, but they don't all fucking work.
They don't. I've tried the bat wing, and it comes out sometimes. I guess it has to be thick.
It does. And
it has to be like, and I'm not like a big like on the thick side of like my eyeliner, because I feel like once it goes too thick, my eyes just like look weird.
That's how mine. Yeah. That's how mine are. And I was like, I want to do minimal makeup. I didn't want to do lashes. I just wanted a cute little wing. Well, see, it doesn't work for me like that. Like it's either like big wing or go home. Like
right, and big lashes.
Yes. Yeah. No, that wasn't the plan for me today.
See, I've been trying. What's her face? Oh my God, I always forget her name. Oh my God, I forgot her name. But she has this technique for like oily skin, and I've been like trying to like do more of like just embracing my natural skin than trying to like powder it down to where it's not oily. And it's worked out for me.
Yeah.
Where I just use tinted moisturizer, and I use like cream bronzer and like a cream stick, and then just kind of like blend it out. And that's worked for me to the point where I'm like not having to like cake up my face in powder, and it doesn't feel like I have anything on my face.
Yep.
But like I feel like that's worked for me.
Yep.
And it's just like before I always just wanted to like hide all my oils, and I'm like I can't be like shiny. And
I know, and that's
like,
how I
whatever.
feel. Like I'm in the middle of that. Well, like I use CC cream all the time, so that's what I always wear. I wear CC cream. I wear cream bronzer. I wear cream blush and cream highlighter. Like I use all the cream products. I don't use too much powder, only under my eyes, and that's it. But like, there's just so many techniques on TikTok nowadays.
It's crazy.
That don't be trying new shit when you don't wear makeup every day like I do. That's just how I feel about TikTok right now. I'm like, there's just so much good information on here that I want to try everything, try all the techniques. But don't be trying new techniques when you have to go somewhere. Like, 'cause it's just dumb. Like, I don't know why I do this to myself.
But it's like nice to know that there are more than like the regular or what you're always used to see with the deep contour and the deep powders and the setting and like going crazy like that, because like my go-to now is just like my under eyes and maybe some cream blush, and I'm good to go. Like that's all I do for the gym, because I also don't want to look dead.
Well, even now in this heat, I don't want to wear a fucking full face of makeup. I don't.
Hell no. I
do not want to. Like, it's just gonna melt off my face.
Texas has just been these last months. I'm just like, fuck. I'm ready for like the cold. Like I just want to be cold.
Girl, I just want it to rain at least.
For real. You gotta do some rain dance. Oof. Oh my God. Let me tell you something that happened in 4th of July.
What?
So we didn't celebrate 4th of July because we ended up doing something like that day before instead, because the kids wanted to cook out and all this stuff. And so my husband had bought like $200 worth of fucking fireworks.
Oh my God.
Had he forgotten we hadn't had rain, and it's been like 100 plus. And so they light up one of the fireworks and our lawn starts catching up.
Shut up. Are you serious?
Like sparks, because like the fireworks. And then I saw a TikTok. There's like, oh,
Didn't
yeah,
they
Texas
say not
has
to do fireworks because of the fires?
The ban. I know y'all might hate me, but it was like two little spots that got on fire, and then Josh just goes over there and like starts smacking with his hand. Oh my God, it was so bad.
Oh my God.
So bad. We stopped, but yeah, we have $200 worth of fireworks in our garage right now.
Oh my goodness.
So bad. I didn't know there was like a Texas like
because there's
like ban because of that. I found out
fires
afterwards.
Up in Bulk Springs.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah. So yeah, you guys should check your news before you start lighting fireworks. Oops. I heard about it after it happened. And I told Josh, I was like, I think you need to keep it away from like the front yard, because that's where like all of our dead grass is mostly, because there's no trees to like cover it.
Oh my God.
But I mean, it was 2 little burnt spots afterwards, but I was like,
I'm just glad y'all got it out.
It was fucking crazy.
So, okay, let's talk about something real quick too that's come up, and I'm like, I want to talk about Chloe.
Oh my God.
What were your first thoughts when you heard that she was having a baby with Tristan again?
I was like, they're going to do what they're going to do to save face, regardless. Because Chloe has always said she wanted another baby, and she wanted them to be siblings or whatever. I knew it was coming. I just didn't know it was going to be via surrogacy. I thought she was going to get pregnant again.
I figured it was surrogacy because they had talked about it in episodes.
Oh,
But, you know, with them breaking up, it was like, oh, maybe it didn't happen.
You know, I wasn't that surprised, but I was just like, damn. Girl, just go hide under a rock and don't come out to that baby's here.
After, my first reaction was like, she broke up with him, but she's going to have a baby with him. Like, it just didn't make any sense. But then after a while, it was like, oh, the surrogate was already pregnant and all this stuff
before they
had officially broke up. I'm like, okay, that makes much sense. But like, it makes me sad that Chloe had to do all this just to fucking be heartbroken again. But like, remember that TikTok you sent me? That's been on my mind for so long.
Oh, so there's this TikToker, and she talks about like different aspects in the Kardashians, about like that whole the karmic thing of it coming back as to like who she was before, and now it's kind of like she's kind of getting it back. Yeah. So,
like, how much does she have to pay for all this stuff?
Right, because she was never. If you guys are like OGs to the Kardashians, I used to look up to Khloe because she was that bitch that would tell her sisters.
Khloe Money. Y'all remember she was Khloe Money.
She was that bitch that would be like, Kourtney, if you go back with Scott, you're fucking dumb, and da-da-da. Like, she would go off on her, and she was like so not supportive towards like the whole thing with like Kim and like Chris Humphries, and like there was just like the constant thing of like her telling off like Rob, because she's like going through the different scenarios where like she was like
she wasn't happy when Rob got China pregnant. Yeah. And so, even Chris's boyfriend.
Yeah. What was his name?
His name's Corey.
Yeah. Like she was just, and I used to look up to her because she's like, oh, she wouldn't take that shit. Like, a man cheats on you, blah, blah, blah. What happened with Kourtney? Or
when like she wasn't as not open, but like she wasn't as receiving when Caitlyn transitioned.
Yeah. So there was like so much that she was very like off put about everyone's decisions. And everyone was like, I just wish she was as supportive as we were for her, and blah, blah, blah. And she always said, like, that's just not something I'm with, or not something I'm for. And so she kind of like explained as to why, like, all these things, right? And I'm like, fuck yeah, like, Kourtney, she's that bitch. Like, she's going to tell you what you need to hear, even though you don't want to hear it. But this time I'm like, she just, I don't know what the fuck happened, to the point that I feel like she's not as confident as she used to be. She's not as like outspoken and being this person that she used to be. Yeah. And maybe back then, like, it was like maybe like a coping mechanism, or like I think so. Some type of like she was trying to like protect herself and stuff like that. But like with Tristan, I'm like, shit, what happened, girl? Like, I don't know. It kind of brought me down, but then it made sense in a way that's like, is she getting her cosmic karma? Because like now she's being treated the way she spoke bad, that like her sister shouldn't be treated that way, or she like looked down on those women who went back to like men who cheated on her. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. I mean, but
why was that still on your mind? Girl, that was like weeks ago.
I know, but like I thought about Khloe, and then I remembered that video, and I was like, oh my God, yes, like it's coming back to her. Yeah. And I was like thinking about, like all the stuff that she was just not supportive of. And I'm like, okay, well, how much is she having to pay back for all the stuff that she did? Like, how long is she going to be paying this until it's like, okay, I got what I deserved because I wasn't supportive of my family members. Yeah. And, you know, now she's having a baby. Like, is it something that I'm sure it's something that she really wanted. But, like, in my heart, I feel like it wasn't anything that she deserved, honestly. Yeah. And, you know, like, I
think she was just trying to find her happiness as much as her other family members have found their own happiness. Yeah. With a little bit of the demise of, like, how people say, like, you kind of, like, be careful of what you, like, speak on, because it can, like, you know how they come back to you in tenfold, you know? Like, don't wish bad on anyone if you don't want that to come back on you. So I can see, like, where that kind of falls. But yeah, I don't think anyone ever deserves to be treated the way that she has so publicly as well, because everyone has an opinion. Everyone's going to talk about it. And
I think it's a learning lesson for us too, just in general, of like, even though we have opinions and strong opinions about someone's certain situation, it's like you have to allow them to go through that without your judgment and your input on it, because something could happen to you like that, or even worse. And you're going to be paying for that. I'd be like, God, I can't believe I said that. Because trust me, I promise it's probably happened to me too.
Oh, same.
You know, like, and that's what the idea came from. I'm like, okay, I was unhappy about this person's relationship. Maybe that's why I was unhappy in my relationships. Maybe it was my jealousy coming off and like biting me back in the ass for it. And I feel like maybe that's what happened to her. Yeah. But I hope like I'm sad that it had to come this way and come this far for her to be like, okay, I really don't deserve this. And then she finally broke ties.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it takes some people to just really fall really low or whatever to the point that they have to kind of like build themselves back up. And I hope she does better.
Yeah.
Because of it. But yeah, no, I've felt like I've had my fair share of like sharing my own cosmic karma because of my own feelings or like maybe even thoughts of like, oh, why do I deserve this and whatever. And I think all of us have that in ourselves to either manifest poorly for ourselves because of how we speak of others or how things happen because of how like I wish I could have that and why does she have, we know it's just like you got to be careful what your thoughts can manifest or your words can manifest into actual like actions and how you speak of others. Like be careful because you know, because I've had that experience where like when I got pregnant with Audrey, like one of my aunts on my dad's side was like, oh, eso le pasa, like whatever, like da da da. At 17 she's pregnant, and like one of my cousins ended up pregnant at 15. But okay, bitch, you know what I mean? Like that type of shit where you're like, ooh, you should have kept your mouth shut.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
And look at you.
See, you have to just allow people to be who they are, and the only thing you can do is just be supportive and be like, okay, well, I'm here for you if you need anything. You know, I don't know. I just
wish them well, and then just kind of like,
I feel like Chloe was just she was projecting her own insecurities
of relationships or whatever. Because I think around that time, like I know Courtney and like Scott were going through stuff, and she didn't have a man. Yeah. Like for a while, she was the single sister for like a long time, and I think she had those insecurities in herself.
And she found men that fed those insecurities or saw that her insecurities were part of her weakness. And so they felt like they could take advantage of her because, you know, she was so insecure. And that makes me sad for her because, like, I'm sure she's got a beautiful soul and she's, you know, she's
loving
great.
Person.
Yeah, of course. You could tell the way she was, you know, that she took marriage seriously with Lamar and stuff. And it made me feel bad, but it's like, I feel like she needed to work on herself internally more than
I think those experiences had to like humble her for her to realize that like, hey, like, you know, and maybe she doesn't see it like that. Maybe she just, you just fuck up.
Yeah. Some people just don't know and they don't realize and they're just like, you know, living life, whatever, thinking that I'm a good person and why do these things happen to me? And it's like, well, you really have to take a step back and be like, okay, maybe I did do shit wrong. Because like I've done it before where even when past relationships where I'm like, God, I fucked up. Like, I can't believe I did that.
Yeah. Yeah. But 100%. Sometimes you're like, am I at fault? Like, am I the drama? You know?
Yeah.
And then really work on yourself from then. Yeah. Like from there or whatever, because.
Oh, it was like when Kim said, like, they got married after 30 days and we didn't say anything. I was like, that's true. Oh, Who gets married after 30 days?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
But. Well, we'll see how the baby's like due soon, right?
Yeah.
Like really soon. Because that happened like before her birthday or something like that? Or after her birthday?
Well, we found out she was having a baby via surrogacy, I think before her birthday.
Right? Yeah, I think it was leaked or whatever, but
I don't know.
We'll see. What if they end up back together? No mames. Like, I don't know. I didn't even know what to say.
I don't think so. I mean,
I've met girls who've gone back to worse, but, you know, that's their life.
We've all done it.
Cada quien lo suyo.
We've all done it. Like, I don't even have words to say. I'm like,
you know,
I think we've all gone back to the person that was not good for us.
Yeah.
And then you think back and you're like, why did I do that?
Why? Yeah. Oh, no, yeah, for sure. I can't talk shit, but yeah. Anyways. Cada quien lo suyo. That's the conversation that is. Well, cada quien es su vida, you know. Everyone living their own lives. Yeah. Wishing y'all the best. Is that all we have to add on here?
Do you think, just going into that, if you were honestly, internally, not happy for someone's relationship and they were getting married and they invited you to their wedding, would you go?
Yeah.
You would still go?
I would still go. I would. Be like, because when they divorce, be like, I told you. I'm just that bitch that be like, I had to. I told you. I told you so. But you know,
you go for the drinks and the food,
bitch, for free. As long as it's open bar. If not, I'll stay my ass home. But I want to be there at the point that I'd be like, I told you so. But let's do this divorce party.
It's sad. And it makes me sad, especially when you're watching TikToks and there's like girls that are going through like men cheating on them. But I love when the women expose them.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Right?
Drama talk. Man, I be following these stories and I go like freaking 20 pages back deep into their TikToks of to how it happened because I don't know how I'm at the finale of this whole like saga. Yeah, I be getting invested as fuck.
Me too. TikTok it's a time waster, but
I'm waiting for the moment that someone like as the main character energy that sometimes I have at the gym that someone's like, who's this girl? And then I'm be like, oh, I'm married, sorry, you know?
What?
You don't be having that? Just thinking like you're walking in the gym and someone's just looking at you like, damn, who's that girl? Or like, you know, like you have a gym crush, but they don't know you're their gym crush. Like I want to be someone's gym crush and then be like, oh, can someone help me find this girl? And be like, oh, I'm married, sorry. You know?
Like on those TikToks of like they're recording somebody and they're like, who is she? And like, I love like, her style.
Whatever. Yeah. And then I'll be like, I want to find that TikTok and be like,
I get you now.
I'm married. Sorry. Like,
where like people are invested in the story of like, oh, did you get her number?
Like some of those are so set up because they end up being their girlfriends. Some of them that like they end up
I get you. Some of them are set
just like set up. But anyways, my main character energy sometimes be like, whose gym crush am I? Because sorry, I can't be your man. You know, I'm married.
We're not humble in here at all.
The gym has outdone me on that. Where I
had that thought this morning of like, I'm tired of being humble sometimes.
Oh yeah, for sure. I walk in that gym and be like, damn, my ass looks good.
Yeah,
you know,
just as you should,
as I should, right? Like I'm doing these squats. Who's watching me? You know, like in the back of my head, like whatever. I'm still married.
Yep.
Maybe that's why I have no gym friends. No one wants to be my gym friend. There are some baddies like that I see from across the room that I like. We just smile, but we've never talked. You know, like I have a few of those gym baddies that I'm just like, dang girl, I see you.
I think you have to find like the certain ones that are there wanting to make friends. Because like me, I don't want to make friends at the gym. I just go and do my shit and leave.
I don't want to make friends, but I want them to make me their friend.
Okay. Does that make sense? That is a main character energy. Yes, that makes sense.
That's a side effect of going to the gym, y'all. Like, that's just been me on that level where I'm like, I don't want to have to go up to you and, like make you be my friend. But, like, if you come up to me and you ask me, like, I want to be your friend.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm on that energy right now. So
I think it'll happen. I think...
Well...
there will be people there that'll see you all the time and like they'll know your schedule or whatever.
Yeah,
and they'll just be like, "Hey, you're here again," like, and just talk to you.
Yeah, I get the welcome back now.
Mm-hmm.
So I've reached that peakness of like, "Hey, welcome back. Hey, thanks, dude." Like I don't even know your name, but okay.
Yeah,
there is one guy that has helped me before, and he's just like a sweet old guy, and every time he's like, "Oh, I haven't seen you in a minute." I was like, "Oh, I know, like whatever, like schedule or whatever," and he's like, well, if you need help, let me know. Like, he's helped me, like, set up, like, my dumbbell presses or whatever. Or he'll, like, or he'll spot me with, like, the dumbbells or whatever. And so I've had those moments where I'll ask for help. But, like, it's just, I still don't know his name.
Let's ask for his name.
Next time. He did mention.
Well, maybe he'll think you're flirting with him or something.
Oh, Lord, it's viejito. Like, you know.
Well, you never know.
I don't know. I wear my wedding ring a lot, so I would just hope that kind of like, you know?
Yeah, that daters him a little bit.
Yeah, maybe, but we'll see. But yeah, that's just in the back of my head every day. I'm like, that's why I'm like, if I end up on someone's fucking TikTok, game over, you know?
Oh, we'll be tagging you. It's okay. We'll let you know.
We just found you. I just got to be like looking into like the Planet Fitness of where I go. Because I go to Planet Fitness. So I'm like, maybe in the tags, you know?
No, I'm just thinking. I'm like staring at you, but I'm like thinking of like other scenarios of like what could happen.
I don't know. Maybe they're just making fun of me.
No, I don't think that.
I would die if someone made like an embarrassing TikTok of me. Like I would never show
What if they had like your cute outfits? I'm like, oh, look what outfit she's wearing today.
That'd be cute.
That'd be cute too.
Let me be your friend. Anyways. But I think
she wants a gym bro, guys.
Yeah. Just someone. Just someone that like we go, but we don't go together. We just do our separate things, but we're like, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I asked for too much. Anyways.
No, I'm thinking like, okay, yeah, because that's what I would do. If I had a friend, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to do this and you go do that.
Yeah, you go do your own thing and then we just come back together.
But it's like, what's the point of going together? I'd be like, hey, friend, can you come over here because I need you to spot me?
Yes. That's exactly why. That's the only purpose because I hate asking people for help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I used to go with somebody too, and I hated being there, like waiting for them. I'm like, God, I don't want to spot you. Like I'm over here on this machine. Like I don't want to be near you right now.
Let's not do the same.
And then their sets are like so long. I'm like, ugh, I don't have time. Like I'm here for 2 hours. Like my limit was an hour, and that's it. Now you got me here for 2 hours. I'm sick of it.
I'm ready to go home.
Right. But yeah.
All right. Well, anything else you want to add on?
I don't think so. That was my ADHD, guys.
So we did have a question though. Let me see. What is some advice you would give new podcasters?
Ooh. Staying consistent, but don't take our advice. Because we have been non-consistent this whole entire year.
No, but I mean, we've been consistent in the very beginning because you kind of want to see it take off, you know, in a way that, like, it's kind of, like, natural and, like, I guess staying consistent helps in the very beginning.
Yeah, for sure,
you know?
In the beginning, and building your listeners or listening.
Yeah.
Your audience, building your audience. So I think that's helpful.
They need a lot of consistency in the beginning because they kind of need to see who you are, what you're bringing, and where you're kind of taking it. Mm-hmm. So, and also being very organic.
And authentic. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't try to, like, be something you're not, because I feel like people will kind of see that. Mm-hmm. Because you can be putting on a show for a podcast, but it also can read off like in a very fake way.
Yeah.
So just like being authentic to who you are and sticking to that and not changing it because someone didn't like what you had to talk about or someone didn't like your opinion or whatever, because there are going to be people who don't like you, and that's okay. And you have to not take that personal.
Yes. Yeah, that's for sure. It's just being original to who you are and staying okay with the thoughts that you put out there. Like, just like we, you may say something in one episode and then, 10 episodes later, you have another opinion or a thought process that you don't think that way, 10 episodes prior. So I think it's just being okay with that. Yeah.
Because if you go to like our very first episodes, I think we've grown so much from like who we were then, because we started this for like healing purposes. We started this for like a place to vent like our emotions, and it's grown so much to that once we started bringing guests and once we started bringing other people's perspectives or other people's life experiences and stuff like that, that has changed the course of our podcast. But still, like, what we've said is like, we said what we said, like, at that point in time.
I said what I said. Okay. If I hurt your feelings, I hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
It wasn't intentional, but
if
the shoe fits.
Yeah, right. It happened. It happened. So yeah, you just have to be able to be okay with yourself and who you are. And if that means along the way you've changed your thought process, or like your feelings have changed or your mindset has changed, that's okay too. It's okay to like learn and grieve, and
you're not gonna get it right all the time. You gotta find, I guess, your niche of like what's comfortable for you and what's comfortable for your audience. I think, because I mean, we could be so like following a process or following like a textbook of what we want to talk about, but then it doesn't feel authentic and organic to.
Yeah. We can't be sitting here reading a script that like, oh, we're going to talk for 10 minutes about this and then jump to another whatever intro or whatever you want to call it.
We just say what we're going to talk, like we just talk about what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
And then that's just how it goes. I mean, but other people that work a different way, so who knows?
Yeah.
Like,
you just have to
do
find
what works for you.
Yeah, the structure that works for you as a new podcaster is what works for you. Like, you might need the structure of like an intro, and then we jump on this subject, and then we can ask questions about this or like reflect on XYZ. Yeah, people thrive on that. But for us and what we bring, where it's like two different perspectives,
we're just conversation.
It's just it becomes a conversation of just like, so how does this feel for you? Blah blah blah. So that's how ours flow. So you just have to see how it flows for you, and just stick to it. Don't quit just because you're not getting the listens or the follows that you think you should be getting, because comparison is the thief of joy. So comparing yourself to podcasters that have been at it for years as you starting out, and you're comparing it, it's not also healthy to think of like that being the ultimate goal in podcasting, because no one comes into this right off the bat making money unless like you're a big time influencer and you can get like crazy like sponsorships. Because we've been doing this almost 3 years, and sponsorships are the last thing on our minds.
My bank account still doesn't see no sponsorships on it.
Nah. But this is a lot of fun, guys.
But you can I hope you had fun. What is it?
Oh yeah, she said. So yep, that's my life. So, I hope you had fun, because I had fun too. Yeah.
No, but I mean, we enjoy doing this.
We really do.
So I mean, it's something for us to be able to get away from home and talk about, girl stuff, because I work from home and I live by myself. You know, it's just easy.
I'm a stay-at-home mom with kids who needs an outlet to just kind of be like, let me tell you.
And there's going to be times where you run out of stuff to say.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's something that goes unspoken sometimes. Some people are really good with their words and really good at speaking about anything and everything, and that's great. I'm not one of those people. I have to really think about what I'm going to say sometimes, or just let it flow organically. I like that my conversations flow organically, but sometimes I think you come to like a stopping point of like, I don't have anything to talk about on an episode, or you're going through something mentally or something like that. So you just got to keep that in mind and taking those breaks when you need to.
Yeah. So, I mean, if anything else,
or just get on TikTok and find something to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, every day I feel like there's something to talk about. If you want to look outside of like your own perspective.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look up like anything, and anything can be a topic.
Oh yeah, I mean, not just TikTok, but on anything. If you're reading the news, if you're reading anything, I mean, if something happened to you at the grocery store and you want to make that a topic, I mean, of course, like just do whatever feels organic to you.
Yeah, or then you just have people come show up and talk about their shit too.
Yeah. You can invite guests. I don't know how some people do it with one person, like
where like they're having like their own. I'm pretty sure like it comes from like their own conversations that they want to, but then they incorporate like, oh, well, this person wanted me to like talk about XYZ.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I just don't think it would be something I could do.
Unless you're like reading like something, you know, like you're following a docuseries or something and you're giving your personal perspective.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
I could see that. Or like people who do like gaming stuff, like, and they like do
like
online
Twitch
streaming,
and stuff.
Online streaming, and then they're talking about that. So I mean, I guess to each their own, but yeah, I don't think I could do it without a co-host.
I don't either. So what's the way here? I'd be like, hey guys, look at my phone.
I got this new Apple phone.
Check out my watch. I'm just kidding.
I don't know. It's on theater mode. So I had to Google it, guys, and let me show you what I found. Yeah, see, you can
no, but we love talking about everything and anything. I think we're just people that like to learn too, like learning about anything and everything. Yep. So, and we'll always try to find something to talk about.
And if you guys have any topics, let us know. We'll love to give you our info.
Even if it's a topic we've never like covered before. Like I'm always willing to hear.
Yeah.
to be open and hear about something.
Or advice.
Yep.
I always like giving unsolicited advice, like just because.
Oh, see, that's something that I'm working on.
Giving unsolicited advice?
Yeah, I'm working on not giving unsolicited advice.
I always like asking.
See, I'd like to ask for advice, or I'm okay.
No, like asking, like, do you want me to hear you out, or you want advice?
Yes. See, that's the same.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm trying to do.
Oh, okay.
Like
gotcha,
I will give somebody advice without even them prompting. Like
yeah.
I wasn't fucking asking, you know? And I'm just like, I have to learn to not be that way.
Oh, I got.
And so I'm catching myself. I'm like, if they do it their way, I'm gonna let them do it their way. I'm not gonna interfere with anything.
Right.
Like, because my mom does that.
Oh,
And I learned.
Does it irk you?
Yeah, and I do the same thing.
Oh.
And I'm like, why do I do this to myself?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I don't want to be that person.
Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes people will like come to you because like they're used to that, and it's like, I kind of don't want to do that because then, you know, sometimes it doesn't work out for the. I used to be that bitch who would be like, well, you need to leave him. Like, don't come ask me for advice because I'm gonna say leave him, right? Like that was me back then.
See, that's what I'm working on.
Yeah,
I would be that person too.
Leave him, blah blah blah. And I think we talked about this before, where it's like, leave him and this and that, and then they don't end up leaving him, and then you're the bad friend that told her to leave him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've been in that spot so many times, and I'm just like, you know what? You're gonna do what you're gonna do.
Yep.
You're gonna sleep with the man who cheated on you and still have another baby with him, and
see, that's my like not giving advice and not giving a fuck either.
Right.
Like I don't want to.
I don't concern you.
Yeah. I'm like, let me just like do you, girl. Like.
Yeah.
And I'm not just not gonna give advice anymore.
And then because sometimes I can't,
unless somebody asks.
And then sometimes you can't relate.
Yeah.
Like remember we had that topic of
you
like
know why
toxic
I'm
in-laws. And I'm like I can't relate because my in-laws aren't toxic.
Yeah.
You know, like that.
And I feel like I'm doing that now because I'm afraid of karma coming back to me.
Oh, you don't want to speak to Chloe. You don't want to.
Yes.
You don't want to.
So I'm like, I'm not going to give advice unless somebody asks me. And I'm not going to give my opinion on something unless somebody asks me. Because I don't want it to come back to me. I feel like this is all full circle now. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
But we've all had our fair share of like cosmic karma.
I know we have, but I don't want to be that person. Because I can be really opinionated. And I know myself. And I'm trying real hard not to be like that. Because I'm like, girl, you come off strong. I know I do. And so I'm just trying not to be like that.
Yeah.
Just trying to be more gentle with people when they do dumb shit.
Yeah, I've had to learn how to navigate the feelings of others because sometimes, like I've come up. That was another conversation we had that I had to learn how to navigate like certain feelings of my other friends because sometimes the way that I would do things or I would assume people should do things my way didn't always work out. And then I'm like, wait, I'm like really hurting your feelings because I wouldn't do that, but I feel like you should do it my way, but that's not, everyone doesn't work the same way and stuff like that. So, and I see that because like, also like with my children, I can't treat all of my children the same, you know? So in that perspective, I see that too in the same way that like I treat people like you need to be careful like as well.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause not everyone was raised the same. Like my husband even says like you were raised completely different than any way our children have been raised. And like, he's kind of like shown me to be like a little bit more softer with my daughter because I felt like I had to make her strong. So I had to be really like tough on her. But she's like, but she was not being raised the way you were. So you can't expect her to toughen up the way that you had to.
Yeah.
And that's like a really hard pill to swallow, but I've had to learn.
But it's like, how do you even know that? Because you had to grow up tough. So like, how do you teach somebody to not be that way?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so hard.
But it's just like unlearning my own toxic traits as well too.
Yeah.
Because I don't want, like how they say, like your parents are your inner voices. I don't want my daughter to have an inner voice that makes her feel guilty or bad or like anything about like what she's doing or anything like that. So it's just like unlearning a lot of those things too. So like even that, like you said, like you don't want it to come back and be worse on you for just having those feelings or expressing those, you know?
I just want to be gentle in general, just with everything and everyone and You want to do that? Because you want to? Go ahead.
Go ahead, boo-boo. Do you?
So,
Here. Yay. Yeah, you guys. I mean, we had a lot to talk about. We need to come back soon. That way we don't have 2 hours worth of just chit-chatting with you guys because...
I know. Well, you guys leave us conversations or topics that you want us to talk about. We are up for anything, and our thing went away.
Yeah, they said, bitch, you've been in here too long.
So, but anyway, we are going to end this episode. Hope it was good. I hope you guys liked it. We will come back.
Had a little bit of everything in here.
Yeah, just chatting away, trying to keep you guys updated on life. But we will be back in the studio again here soon.
Yes. I hope you guys really like this whole setup over here. Maybe it'll catch both of us or not. Okay,
we're working
whatever.
on it. We're working on.
It's just like, let's just show Mel because she's cute or whatever.
I'm not even looking at it. You're looking
at
it.
Like I had to move. Oh, it's because you had to move.
Oh,
okay.
you got to move.
Yeah, there you
go.
go.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
So
all right,
if you guys like this setup, we'll come back here again. I think this will be our spot now.
Yep, I like it here.
All right, guys. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.